Hi everyone, so we're going to do a collective reading. Well, I've still got everything set up, I just did a pick a card reading. And the pick a card reading was a little bit intense, and I just wanted to do a collective reading about, maybe what are your next steps in this connection. And I'll probably release this a couple days after the pick a card, but so this is a collective reading, so we're just going to pull cards and go fast, I think. And maybe it'll help me practice my intuitive reading skills as well. Okay, so we've got Servant coming out in reverse. Light attribute, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Shadow, using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Ooh, that might resonate for some of us. And so I'm just going to pull a bunch of these cards and see what comes out. And just see kind of what the energies are currently, or even what archetypes might be useful in moving forward with the situation. This has come out 3 times in the last day. So we've got Advocate with light attribute, inspires you to put compassion into action. Compassion into action. I've been meditating on that phrase, and I think I might add it to my Facebook bio, which I like to change up now and then. Shadow attribute, embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. We also have Lover in reverse. Light attributes, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Shadow attributes, obsessive pattern that harms others, self-destructive devotion. Self-destructive devotion. So we've got using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward, and putting compassion into action, and then obsessive passion, self-destructive devotion. And then, we got one more here. Martyr, light attribute, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Shadow, addiction to self-pity. So learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. We've got Student. So a lot of these are the same as in the last reading. Light attributes coming out upright. Humility and devotion. Oh, actually, I think that might have come out, and then I was interrupted, so I reshuffled. So that might have not have actually been in the pick a card reading, but it came out in reverse the first time I did that reading. Humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. Shadow, arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. So humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. So what I'm seeing here for possible actions to take are putting compassion into action, so turning the feeling of compassion into some kind of actual action of compassion. Learning the oh goodness, I'm going to put this back because I was not intending to pull cards there. Perhaps letting go of obsessive passion, letting go of using money as an excuse not to act, learning to serve others, and remaining, cultivating humility and devotion and openness to lifelong learning. Let's get another row. I like these cards. We're just going to keep going with these. And I might just pile cards on top of cards. I see others doing that, and I've always felt it was a little bit of a messy look, but sometimes there's wisdom in the mess. Athlete, light attributes, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. Shadow, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit, transcending physical limits. So I kind of take this, athlete is a 3D image if ever there was one, but I sort of took this in another reading last night as dedication to transcending physical limits. So, it might be a call to focus on the 5D rather than the 3D. Is that something that resonates for you? That might be an action to take. Let's see what else we've got. What other actions might we take to further this connection? There's a lot of blanks included in here, and they seem like they're coming out in reverse a lot. But I'll set that to the side. You've got Slave, light attributes, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. Shadow, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. So surrendering your power of choice to the... So surrender. feel like there's some problematic racial things here and some problematic ableism things here. But we'll just keep going. I'm just getting to know this deck. We've got Mediator in reverse. Light attributes, gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. And then Shadow, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. So maybe keeping away from ulterior motives. Surrender, stay away from personal motives. Perhaps focus on a connection within the 5D instead of obsessing over the 3D. Pioneer, a lot of these are coming up again from last night. Light attributes, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Shadow, compulsive need to keep moving on. So focus on creating, focus on passion. I feel like 2 more cards just popped out. And they were both cards that popped out last night. This is so strange. And they both came out in the reverse. So we've got Vampire and Queen. Vampire, light attribute, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Shadow, depleting others for your psychic survival. Chronic complaining and codependency. Queen, light attributes, radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Shadow, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. And so I did have a bit of a rant about this vampire card, similar to these, because I feel like it's sort of the concept of a spiritual vampire. I feel it's lacking compassion, shall we say. I think, maybe that is an energy that it's useful to call out at times. Maybe there are people who deliberately sort of glom on to others or who exploit others. But I feel like there are also a lot of people who perhaps there's dynamics that might be referred to as, with the descriptors of these cards that I think people might jump to this conclusion rather than taking personal responsibility, I think is what I'm trying to say. I'll just leave that at that because the words are not really coming. Child, nature, light attributes, friendship with animals, communication with nature spirits. Shadow, tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. I'm pretty sure that just came out upside down, but I don't actually remember, so I'll just put that there. And I don't even know why I pulled another one, but there we go. Embracing the spirit of the messy. Let's see Starseed. We're going to go Starseed Oracle. Oops, sorry, Star. My dog just jumped when I started shuffling. I'm just shuffling. It's okay. It is noisy, isn't it? It's a big noise out of nowhere. Probably sounds like a clap, which I sometimes use to tell him to stop doing something. You're fine, you're a good boy. Okay, Starseed Oracle. Can we get a few cards to describe what are some actions that can be taken in this connection to support this connection or to nourish this connection for the collective? What are actions for the collective to take in nourishing this connection? We've got Star Bathing, Light Body, Crystal Grid, Transmission, Activation. Just going to pull a few and then we'll talk about them. We have Lifting the Veil, Questioning Everything, Anything Aligned Must Go. We've got Whale and Orca Elders, Share Your Song, Frequency of Sound, Diving Deep. We've got one more of these cards. Jump in, Andromedan Energy, Adventure, Say Yes to Change. Cool. Okay, so we've got sort of tapping into the grid, the crystal grid of the earth, being starbathing, literally starbathing, lying down in the light of the stars and bringing their light into your body. Light body, transmission, activation, so being open to activation. Lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything aligned must go. So that would be sort of a tower card, in my opinion. Looks much more beautiful and fruitful than a tower moment, but it's, you know, questioning whether things are aligned and then rejecting them if they are not aligned, removing them from your circles. Whale and Orca elders, share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. So turning to elders for their stories and songs, sharing your own song, especially if you are an elder, but even if you're not. Figuring out how you tell your stories or share your songs and delivering that to the world, perhaps delivering it to your person. And the frequency of sound, which obviously is very aligned with whales, to me speaks of the Kundalini yoga tradition, which I am a teacher of. And the origin story in that tradition is that the first thing to exist was a frequency of sound. And so there's some deep resonance here for me with this. So anytime things feel not aligned, I feel like you can tune into that frequency of sound and come back into alignment with higher self, higher purpose. For me, chanting, especially chanting with others, is really potent and powerful for tuning into the frequency of sound. There are obviously many other ways to get in touch with sound. Everything from having someone didgeridoo over top of your body while you lie there and absorb the vibrations, all the way through to, you know, creating music for other people, whether that be live or as a DJ. Or just even, you know, using your own voice to make sounds that may or may not have anything to do with songs or words. Just articulating, if that's something that resonates for you. Dive deep with whatever it is that you feel you're being called to. And jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. So there's a person sort of diving into a galactic pool here. Some kind of nebula. A rainbow nebula that has an eye in it, actually. In the eye of the nebula. And saying yes to change, being open to adventure. So, you know, things do shift and change in relationships, and it looks like, you know, whether the change is within the relationship or changing from the relationship, it looks as if that's what you're being called to do. Let's get some cards from the Audacity deck that I'm still excited to be playing with. I've got the coffee. It's in reverse. I don't think there are reversals in this deck, so we'll just stick to uprights. We've got the last hurrah. Man, just feeling like there's a lot of like walking away from connections energies coming up today. Which is, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that's like the worst thing ever, but maybe I need to be open to change. It's not what I want to be delivering to other people, that's for sure, but, you know, maybe it's needed. Oh, we got the Two of D's. I do love that card. And we got the Gardener, and we got the Zoom meeting. So out of these cards, the only one that I have really unlock is the Zoom meeting, which is about, as you can see, life going up in flames because there's just too much going on. So it's about reducing commitments, reducing responsibilities, taking a step back, recognizing that, you know, everything you're committed to is kind of stabbing you through the heart and making things very difficult while everything else is burning around you. So step back from, I mean, this deck is meant to be humorous, but step back from overcommitment will be the message of that card. Got the coffee. What are you overlooking and taking for granted? How can you pause and sip the coffee? Are you rushing through your day because you're in a hurry, or because you're avoiding things that need attention and are easier to push aside? So figuring out. It also refers to the alchemy and seemingly routine rituals, the sorcery in the everyday, and the magic in the mundane. So slowing down, sipping the coffee, savoring the coffee, and paying attention to the magic in life. Card 30, the last hurrah. Things are most definitely not looking good, but that's not stopping you from going all in. You are ride or die, loyal, committed. Your friends can count on you to ride at dawn. You may be fighting a losing battle, but you're digging your heels into your horse for one last yeehaw. Even when all signs point to plummeting to a swift death, you at least keep a good attitude about it. Your loyalty is admirable. So I'm not sure what that would mean in terms of action, except, you know, perhaps that you're determined to juice the last out of the connection, or, you know, whatever it is that that's keeping you from the connection, possibly. But it sort of looks like a party before the end, would be my interpretation of that. With the Tuides, we got the skeleton with some nuts hanging down, like actual acorns hanging down, that the squirrel here is very interested in. And, you know, it's sort of a macho skeleton, like showing some swagger. Oh, there's more squirrels. And some dark storm clouds looming behind. And everything is radiating out from those nuts. And it says, things that come in pairs: birds of a feather, 2 boots you can lick, 2 headlights of the non-car variety, Tuides nuts. The time has come to guide those in question to the Tuides. Chestnuts, balls, nads, family jewels, nuts, cojones. You get the idea. I'm really not sure what to make of that, but it's not very explanatory, except as a joke, perhaps. Time has come to guide those in question. So maybe it's your turn to swagger. Maybe it's time to show your swagger and, you know, call in those squirrels. I feel like that's exceedingly crass, but maybe it's time for you to show off and sort of, you know, put forward whatever your gifts are, so that, you know, that you're, like, toot your own horn, essentially. This almost sounds like don't toot your own horn, and then we've got toot your own horn over here. Let's go with that, because I do want to keep this moving. The skeleton gardener is here to remind you that you reap what you sow. Time to focus on your thoughts. The flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today. In what ways are you nurturing your future? The thoughts we think are the seeds we plant. Are you growing flowers or weeds? I think that's a good note to end on. So figure out what you want to grow and then plant those seeds. What else shall we do? Seed and Sickle with the Dawn Guidebook. Let's do it. Are you still recording? Great. What are the messages for the collective? What action should the collective take in respect of the connection on their mind? What are the next steps for the collective in this connection? Or what do they need to be mindful of going forward using the Dawn Guidebook of Seed and Sickle? Let's see what we can get here. How am I doing with the mess here? Is it messy? It's kind of tidy. It's a little all over the place, I guess. We've got Dandelion. I can't remember, does this have reversals? I don't think so. Dandelion, number 33. Dandelion, I have learned, is not only useful as a leaf in salads, as a green in salads, but it's also useful, I mean, it's great for tea, of course. It makes a deliciously bitter tea. I really like bitter teas. And it also is useful, the flower part is useful if you can collect enough of them for making vegan honey. Got bluebell, basil, and willow. I'll just get a bunch, but why not? I am going to have to, like, refer to the guidebook, so I don't know about getting too many. Got crocus, foxglove, and a couple more came out. I don't know. Let's go with it. Mistletoe and belladonna. Where can we put you, belladonna? We shall stop there and see if we can pull some common energies out of this. Let's do a lightning round of Seed and Sickle. So, Dandelion. This card represents being stuck between choices, staying rooted to the safety of the ground or taking flight to new lands. It requires careful consideration, waiting for the right time to achieve results, but the decision must be made, don't wait in limbo. Got Bluebell with 17. So we were kind of seeing those energies before, I think. Maybe that was the previous reading. Don't wait in limbo. do make a decision and take action. Whatever glue you use in this situation, take the time you need to find the correct solution and set things right now, or you'll end up doing the work again in the near future. So take the action, but make sure it's the right action. Consider carefully before taking action. We've got 24 basil. You're inviting in a change of scenery. Be sensible about your decisions, and your feet will lead you safely to where you need to go. With willow, try not to get too stuck on thoughts of how you've always done things or how things have always been. Embrace a new outlook. Try things differently. You might be surprised. 38 with crocus. So I'm seeing things need to be planned out, but you should be open to change and taking those steps. Crocus. Find that part of you that is strong and unmoving when times have been tough. It's a valuable ally. Become familiar with it and employ its determination in your everyday life. With this strength in hand, you can achieve anything. So connect with your inner strength. Foxglove. You know the best time and place for the goals that you want to achieve. Rely on yourself for guidance and meet your deadlines on your own terms. So again, looking inwards, inner strength, inner wisdom. Mistletoe. You might feel like you're running out of energy. You've been working hard. Take a moment to think about people who have offered you their support in the past. Have you taken them up on that offer? Favors are hard to come by and even harder to call upon, but now is the time to ask. So make a decision. Consider carefully, make sure it's the right decision. Forgotten what basil is, we can go back to it. Oh, I didn't get to belladonna. Willow was, I'm blanking here. These were about embracing the new, I believe. Inner strength, inner wisdom, and call in favors. And then 20 belladonna. Perhaps it is time to sit back and consider where things have become entangled. You may have to place some of your other projects aside to stop the main one from becoming completely knotted. It's interesting that I put this over here with these ones because these are the cards of considering carefully and, making a decision. And this is sort of saying prioritize. Prioritize as you do that. All right, I think that's enough with the oracles. I'm going to pull the light oracle at the end, but let's get a few tarot cards. So what are some actions that the collective can take in respect of this connection to nurture this connection? What are some actions for the collective? I just wanted to try pulling out a huge mess of cards and see how that felt. I like it. I like moving fast. Because I feel like most of the time I'm kind of hesitating, trying to make sure that I've got the answer right, Just wanted to try and push myself a little bit and see if that might work for y'all. See if I could get to things that are more productive. Damn these reversals. I think they actually came out like that. Nope, they didn't. They did not. Okay. Oh, the reversals. Oh, the reversals. I really need to make sure I've got everything noted down as I learn this stuff. Devil in reverse. No longer feeling your energy. No longer holding on to the chains of codependency, facing shadows, end of toxicity, freeing oneself from lower vibrational energies. Page of Cups in reverse. So it may be time to free yourself of lower vibrational energies. This definitely came up, and did I take it down? I did not. Page of Cups. Earlier today, in the previous reading. Block in creativity, keeping creative inspirations and ideas secret. So it might be a call to share your creative ideas and inspirations, or it might be that it's time to keep those things secret. Oh no, sorry. I'll stretch out my legs. Sorry about the wiggles. So it's possible that you're feeling blocked as well creatively. And then 4 of Wands in reverse. Whoa, Nelly. Is that one here? Thank you all for your patience. Four of Wands, unstable energy, breakup or separation, lack of balance or lack of harmony. So it may be that you're being called to end a connection that's not working. It might be that that might describe the energies that exist already, lack of balance or lack of harmony. And so we are trying to find out what actions might support you in this connection. So maybe the action that supports you is walking away. That is possible. Man, the readings today have just been a little on the dark side. Not the messages that I want to be giving. Queen of Swords. So there might be the need to come clean or tell the truth. Make sure you're in integrity. Got Six of Wands in reverse. Fear of failure, lack of confidence, egoism, not getting a reward after effort, lack of achievements. So if you feel like there's been maybe a lack of support in the connection, it might be that you need to be sort of coming clean about that and being forthright about it. Oh, so funny. These are the cards that drifted off into the ocean yesterday together. Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. It's funny that they just came out together. The Queen of Pentacles is the nurturer of the deck. So it might be that you want to give some nurturance to the connection, but maybe the way to do that is by speaking truth. And it looks like there's a call to bring peace into the connection, or peace to yourself. You'll know which one of those resonates. We've got the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is calling and support. It's very stable, sort of like action that has led to success and stability. It's leader. It's leader energy. So maybe you need to embrace your inner King of Wands and, call support to you, because we have that mistletoe over here, and just, be firm in your decisions and know that they will be for the best. Two of Pentacles, you might be juggling a lot. As you do that, there might be a choice that you feel like you have to make. Six of Pentacles is generosity. So it might be that you're in the position of strength in this connection right now, and just be aware that, positions could be reversed, and be fair and just and generous. Got the Hermit, so you might want to be looking inward for answers at this time, doing some deep soul searching. What else are the messages for the collective in respect of this connection? What does the collective need to know in respect of this connection? Got Seven of Swords, so that might be about Nine of Pentacles reversed. Seven of Swords is a sneaky energy upright. So in reverse, it's sort of taking accountability. If you've been ghosting somebody, stop ghosting them. It might be that you come out of hiding. Maybe you've been in hiding for a while in this connection. Maybe you need to come back around and, initiate communication and make sure that it's done with integrity. Nine of Pentacles reversed. I do not have. Maybe, I would imagine that's probably about, you've been in your own energies, you've been focused on your own projects, and maybe it's time to come out of that energy and make a connection. Let's see. Reverse Nine of Pentacles is all about self-worth. A feeling of that despite having everything, your life is still missing something. It can indicate a lack of independence, confidence, freedom, security, or stability, or excessive indulgence, lack of restraint, or self-discipline. Reminder to evaluate your situation. Here we go. A reminder to evaluate your situation and determine if it truly aligns with your values and goals. So does your current situation truly align with your values and goals? That may be what you're asking yourself here. And, depending on the answer to that question, you might decide whether to put some nurturance into it, or bring a little more truth to it, or, figure out a way that you can be in peace about it, whether together or, if you choose to walk away, not together. Let's get a couple more. We've got one more row of cards, and then I think we'll pull the final oracle card, and that'll be the end. Ace of Wands, so it looks like there's some passion. Maybe show your passion, bring passion to your connection. If you're feeling passion, then definitely express it. It's initiatory energy, sort of taking action. got Two of Wands in reverse, so just looking at the cheat sheet, plans falling apart, small thinking, fear of unknown, lack of planning, not taking action, playing it safe, avoiding risk. So as an action, maybe avoiding risk. So even though you're bringing your passion forward, make sure that it's not, going back to the cards underneath, the seed and sickle cards. Think carefully, plan carefully, and make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position that's too vulnerable, or putting yourself out there too much if you're not getting reciprocation. So just make sure that whatever that expression of passion is, that it's going to work for you and not just for another person. I've got Four of Pentacles. Hang on to what you got. That can be the energy of attachment, so it can sometimes be, that you're too attached, so maybe it's a call to release attachment, whether to material things or to a person. But it could also mean, make sure that you're, bringing some passionate expression to your attachment if you are indeed attached to somebody, because do they know that? Maybe they don't. If you feel like maybe they don't, then it may be time to let them know that you're serious, or that you have feelings for them, or that you're serious about continuing the connection if you are. It might be a call to hang on to your resources. If you are in a separation or contemplating a separation, you might want to look to your resources and make sure you're planning for ensuring that you can care for yourself after separation. I've seen that come up a few times today. What are the messages for the collective? I've just got a couple more cards. That's too many. Just want 2 more cards. We've got Page of Pentacles and Eight of Swords. So Page of Pentacles is the energy of studying carefully, so maybe there's some resonance between these two. It's sort of student energies, considering all angles of a situation, taking in all the information before making a decision, making sure that you're grounded in whatever actions you're going to take, and sort of planning things out step by step before you move forward. And then Eight of Swords would be looking at how you've limited yourself. So if you're in a situation that feels like you're surrounded by swords and blindfolded and all tied up, standing in a puddle, just, kick off your boots and feel your feet in the puddle and get in touch with your emotions and realize that you can, untie those ropes. You can maybe get cozy with one of those swords and slice them off yourself, carefully of course, and take off the blindfold, look at what you're not seeing, and realize that, sometimes when we feel trapped, we've created that situation ourselves. I mean, I'd say most of the time. Especially in relationships, you're never powerless in a relationship. You've always got something you can do to shift things, and that doesn't mean that things will work out in the way that you necessarily ideally want, but it does mean you can get yourself to a better situation almost all of the time, and sometimes we forget that in connections. I don't really want to leave it at the Eight of Swords, so maybe we could just have 1 or 2 more cards, and then we'll look at the White Light Oracle. Let's see. Oh, 2 just jumped out. Oh, a whole bunch jumped out, but we're going to take those top 2. We've got Knight of Wands and we've got Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So this would say, sort of summing up, that I think, let's see, bottom of the deck, we've got the World in reverse. Oh no, I just flashed your boobies. So Knight of Wands would be about taking action and sort of being proactive and friendly and in your social energies. Knight of Pentacles is about planning. That's, again, the energy of planning something. So it's sort of saying, maybe you do the preliminary steps of planning, but then make sure you're going out into the world and not dwelling too much on the planning stages. And, get out there and be social at the same time. And maybe that will bring you the wisdom you need to guide you to making the right decisions, or maybe it'll bring you into the next phase, whatever that looks like. Whether that be inspiration for healing the connection itself, or whether that be moving on. So let's get a White Light Oracle card, and then we're going to call it a day. Thanks for being here. This would be the right time to push like on the buttons below the video and to hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And support the channel and make sure that you don't miss future readings. I am aiming for the readings to become a little more regular, and so, and also, you know, eventually I will improve the technology that I'm using to do the readings when I can get to that. Aiming to get a proper microphone and a proper camera, and go from there. So thank you for being here, and I hope this was kind of a little bit of an experimental, different kind of thing today, because I really enjoy it when other people do this. Just pull like masses of cards and just keep going and see how the connection evolves or whatever the energies are. Okay, so we're going to pull a white light oracle card. So I'm going to read from the guidebook for this, and maybe even read the healing process or let you screenshot it perhaps. And these cards are quite sacred to me, so that we're combining them with a sort of, I feel like this is like pop culture, and then we're bringing in reverence. And you know, I truly believe that everything is reverent. There's a book called The History of Shit by Dominic Laporte that I used in my academic work, and it kind of talks about like, what do we do with the things that we feel are not worthy? How do we approach things that we think need to be discarded in society? And you know, that can have far-reaching social consequences, asking those questions. And so, you know, in my opinion, spiritually speaking, even energies that feel like they're misaligned are sacred. So whatever it is that you're going through, just know that it's sacred and that it's leading somewhere. And you know, there is nothing that is outside of that rubric. I think others would say that you know, Spirit's got your back. I feel a bit hesitant about saying that, because I feel like sometimes Spirit brings us lessons that definitely feel like they could have been more gentle. Oh my god, no way. I was watching a reading the other day where this card came out. That's so interesting. I may pull one more. So we've got Sovereign Queen Maeve. Just pull one more. These cards are they're a little big, so they're not quite coming out spontaneously. Let's see, what is the message for the collective? I'm just feeling I need to pull one more so that I'm not duplicating another person's reading. Although I guess it's just synchronous. But I feel like, oh my goodness, we got 3 more cards coming out. Okay, well I guess I'll just pull them all out and we'll send them up. They're so beautiful, I love these cards. Okay, so we've got Karma of Kutuhala, Bastet of 174 Hertz, Sovereign Queen Maeve, and Aurora of Gamma, with her chest helpfully covered. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so we'll go for Sovereign Queen Maeve first. I think you can kind of tell from her picture and just the energy of that card what it's about, being sovereignty. Value what is sacred to you by protecting it from interference, even that which may be well-intentioned. Be compassionate, but set firm boundaries. You will triumph over a negative situation. Have courage. Don't give up. Connect with higher worlds. Open your heart and mind to the light. The world needs souls who are willing and able to hold sacred space and refuse to allow it to become contaminated by greed, jealousy, hate, or confusion. This is an act of courage and selflessness. Such an act of courage serves all beings. To be a son or daughter of Maeve requires some spiritual, or a non-binary child of Maeve requires some spiritual chops. It takes a feisty refusal to be dominated or controlled. It takes the wisdom to recognize that one can lovingly accept all that is without judgment, while discerning when and how to set a firm boundary, lest sacred space be trampled upon and defiled by ignorance. Okay, so contrary to what I was just saying, you know, perhaps there may be some ignorant energies out there in the world that you want to have, that you want to set boundaries around, to protect your sacred space. It might all be ultimately holy, but perhaps there's a need for boundaries in specific situations. You know, there are lots of foolish people in the world who, you know, engaging with those energies can pull us down and make it harder to achieve our spiritual purpose, for sure. This oracle asks you to come home to yourself again and again. Know that you are strong enough to live your life and chart your course in communion with the sacred. In Sanskrit, Swaraj is self-rule, and as the meaning of Raj is also radiance, it can also mean self-luminous. Do not allow your destiny to rest in the hands of others. Recognize that the light within is your true ruler. You have the power to light yourself up with spirit. Commit to what you can do and believe the realms of the divine are working with you. You shall be victorious. And then so there's a healing process that has to do with sovereignty, and the rest of it is on this page. So you can screen capture that, go back and screen capture if you like. And then I'm just going to whip through these other ones very quickly. Karma of Kutuhala. Your sacred soul passion is powerful enough to shift the state of your inner reality and your outer experience. So commit to what truly ignites your heart, and do not be dissuaded by anything or anyone. If you're seeking to make a commitment, do so when it truly connects you to your heart. Follow your genuine, meaningful bliss. Know that no matter what appears to be, you shall prevail, you shall arise. Kutuhala is a Sanskrit term that translates as that which excites wonder. Even if it doesn't seem like it will lead us anywhere practical, following our bliss can allow for something beautiful and deeply fulfilling to unfold. We often pursue what is sensible and secure, yet what could be more appropriate, or divinely and delightfully inappropriate, than pursuing a path so intoxicating, so fascinating, so utterly mesmerizing to the spirit that, no matter what challenges arise, you feel so much love and commitment and passion you shall not turn away. That is the stuff of potential greatness. We might call it being led by our hearts. Kutuhala is permission to do just that. This oracle encourages you to recognize that in its own inimitable... Oh. It's not very often that I can't pronounce words, but let's try that again. This oracle encourages you to recognize that, in its own inimitable way, spirit is practical. It just tends to go via the deliriously rapturous, astonishing, and deeply healing route. Trust what you love, and let your heart lead you. You and your life shall become luminous, sanctified in the grace of alchemical transformation. An unexpected and miraculous arising is at hand. That was Karma of... I'm just going to bring that up so you can see it, because I feel like that card is... This is me. This is my life philosophy in a nutshell. And then we've got Bastet of 174 Hertz. So I think that's very, very sage advice. Bastet. You've been moving so fast for so long that you're not realizing how wound up you've become. Gently unwind now to drop into a deeper, slower, healing rhythm, and you will restore your body, mind, and soul. Things which seem too difficult right now shall soon seem very manageable and even pleasurable to accomplish. The Egyptian cat-headed goddess of dance, festivals, birth, healing, and sacred potions is known as Bastet. Her sacred cult was one of beauty, pleasure, and enjoyment. Worshipping her was not about ignoring the problems that are part of being alive. In fact, just as cats can see in the dark and are natural and skillful hunters, Bastet was often called upon for psychic protection from hidden negativities and to secure one's life force and enhance one's vitality. In her role as healer and creatrix of magical healing potions and sacred perfumes, she integrates healing with pleasure, relaxation, and a sensual connection to the physical world of nature, including beautiful natural oils and jewels made with precious and semi-precious stones. Bastet shows us how to slow down and smell the roses, whilst applying their perfumed oil to our bodies, and breathing in their high-frequency scent to protect and soothe the heart. She is the guardian of and guide into the sumptuous feminine paradise that brings healing, a willingness to connect to the earth and the body, and a capacity to experience sacred, healing, playfulness, exuberance, and natural states of joy. And the frequency of 174 Hertz is the pain-relieving frequency. It is a musical version of the similar low-frequency purring of a cat, providing love and peace to organs and tissues, strengthening your bones and your soul. Heal, rest, relax, and enjoy your life. Then you can more effortlessly be a source of positive energy. You can focus on exploring the sacred arts of pleasure, including music and sound, food, touch, massage, healing, play, dance, celebration and art, color therapy, or healing with crystals and oils. If you've been too hard on yourself, it's time to be kind. Your delight can be a source of positive energy for yourself and others too. This oracle brings guidance that there's an approach available that can reduce suffering and increase your feelings of happiness. Open your heart to the divine feminine for guidance and inspiration, and that would be regardless of your gender. Bastet is a portent of joy and celebration. Believe in the happiness and healing your heart can create and attract. And the last one, 27, Aurora of Gamma. Hopefully summing it all up. Which I'm fairly certain I've never pulled before. She's looking quite fiery. Don't know if you can see that from all the way down there. She's pretty. It is time to let go of what has been. You are swiftly outgrowing your past. Explore and commit to a spiritual practice that supports your personal transformation so you can cross the threshold before you now. Embrace your freedom to be creative in your approach rather than doggedly committing yourself to your previous ideas or plans. You have the spiritual intelligence necessary to evolve. Continue your healing journey with trust that a positive outcome is imminent. Ooh, I'm so glad I pulled these cards. This is all feeling much better. Aurora is the Roman goddess of the dawn, the bringer of light, and initiatrix of a new cycle or chapter in your life. She is the luminous dispeller of darkness, the flickering flame of hope in the heart that can burn into such a radiant holy fire that even the greatest challenges do not cause the soul to turn away in fear. Her presence in a reading signifies a fresh start and the overcoming of an old cycle. So it's to shift our brain waves into gamma waves to facilitate the breaking up of stagnant modes of thinking and behaving. This is the sacred frequency of evolution. Humans who are stuck in patterns repeat the same stories, the same words, the same thoughts over and over, as though in a repeated loop. The soul can begin to wither within such constriction. What is needed is something new and increasingly alive, such as the life-stimulating grace of encounters with the unfamiliar. If you're into astrology, I feel like this is the energy of Uranus, at least the positive polarity of Uranus energies, which I feel guided by in my life. And I would recommend working with Uranus. Uranus can, disrupt your life in uncomfortable ways, but if you can find a way to work with Uranus, it brings in that spontaneity that is the spark of life that can move you forward, through a huge jump rather than like in the measured planning way. It's good. There was a huge thunderstorm here last night, and it just, I don't know, they make me feel alive like nothing else. That electrical energy, zapping down from the sky. That's the energy of Uranus. Let's see. Aurora of Gamma indicates a shift into a new cycle, but also the growing presence of the light within, which is the creative light of spirit. Tuning into that light opens up options for living soulfully, away from the grip of ignorance, no longer constantly ensnared by the compelling, but ultimately fraudulent conjurations of ego. Her new era is an inner transformation with positive external consequences. Trust in what your inner light is manifesting in your heart and in our world. Think perhaps you can. Hopefully you saw that enough to screenshot it. And here's the other. And with that, we will end the reading. So I hope that's been helpful. I felt like the 3 pick a card readings I did earlier were, maybe I should have pulled these cards out. But I just wanted like an antidote to felt like there's a lot of toxicity and kind of the negative side of relationships coming through, and like separations and breakups and no contact situations. So I just wanted to like do a collective reading so that we can all like kind of release the energies that were coming out in that pick a card. And so I think I will probably set this up so that that reading feeds into the next reading once they're both live. And anyway, yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here and allowing me to speak random words into the interwebs. All right, thanks for being here. Bye.